welcome to Several Questions with Nate Chappell, Finn Hammond, and Johnny Fisher.
Nate's busy, so we're gonna take care of the intro this time.
Oh yeah.
Several Questions is a show where a robot asks us questions. Is that right, Johnny?
I think so.
It's called the Questionator 5000. It was designed to ask us very silly questions, and it's our job to answer each and every one of them.
One by one by one.
One by one by one.
Do we still do that?
We do it just one at a time, as far as I know, unless there's been an update. You guys seem to you guys meet in person sometimes, it seems like, so maybe there's stuff that you guys aren't covering. But to my knowledge,
off air.
Yeah. And you say things about me that I probably shouldn't hear. Hey, Jen, do you have crazy dreams?
Probably. I don't remember most of them. So
I had one last night. I don't know if this is a real thing, but it's like the summertime, right? And I think that when something about that gives you long, crazy dreams. So I had this crazy dream where I was trying to solve a mystery in a library, and it was like kind of a Resident Evil situation where I was like looking for keys inside of books and then trying to unlock like a statue lock, and then I don't know.
It was dark and raining and scary. Probably like creatures crawling around and then click, 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 click.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the summer makes my dreams a little more vivid. If I had to,
fun.
Yeah. So that's it.
Moisture.
Yeah. We did it. We did the episode. I did an introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Was it good?
You could. No, it was a medium. But I said all the relevant information.
Right, I could just redo the intro, but then I feel like this is what we're talking about after the intro. So then do I have to make up a whole conversation between the three of us? I'll do it. Let me just put it down quick, okay? I'm just gonna do it quick. Okay, I'll do the part that includes you guys, but don't say anything. I'm just gonna do your parts. Isn't that right, you guys? Yeah. Coca-Cola.
That's me.
Rocks. Yeah, that's Finn. Rocks.
That's right.
Okay. I totally agree. And guys, who do you think is the most handsome? You are. Rocks. Okay, well, that question's answered. Now let's get on to the next question. Was that pretty good?
When you were a kid, did you have imaginary friends? What about real friends?
Okay, so my childhood is something, for whatever reason, I don't remember very well until probably like the age of 9 or 10. Like otherwise it's just patchy, just like little bits and pieces. But
just
I'm pretty sure I did have
flashes.
Yes. There's lots of fire and there's blood. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah.
Demons.
Usually they're in my hands. I don't know. But so
for whatever reason.
yes, I think
we have
I
to
did.
move again.
I did. We did move a lot. Yeah, actually. Yeah. Huh.
Were you the London Ripper? Is that what they call it? Jack Ripper.
Yeah.
Jack Ripper.
Jack the London Ripper.
I mean, Jack is another nickname for John.
I lost my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Tripper from Three's Company.
Yes.
Do you think that was on purpose? Do you know that John Ritter's name in Three's Company was Jack Tripper, like Jack T. Ripper? Wait. Jack the Ripper is a historical figure.
That's the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jack Tripper is Jack T. Ripper. Anyway, he did kill a lot of people on the show.
Also very close to his name. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. What happened to Mr. and Mrs. Foley?
That's right. And what about all the other roommates?
Yeah, it was 15's company at first, and then episode by episode, it was pared down to the final remaining 3. Okay, so all murder talk aside, Imaginary friends, did they do it? Did you
Yes.
blame it on the imaginary friends?
I did. Definitely. I blamed it on them, and that's why I'm here today.
They're in jail.
Yes, they're all locked up. That's why I don't have any
They
actual
took
friends.
the fall for
Yeah.
you. So no, but did you have imaginary friends or not?
I'm pretty sure I did. I don't remember any
Recall
names,
any
but
specific.
yeah. But
You grew apart.
yeah, but I think the way I'm remembering it, my imaginary friends was mainly because I thought it was something you're supposed to have.
That's funny.
Like other people had imaginary friends, and I've been told about it, but like, so I had to make them up in order to like be cool.
For like kindergarten applications.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh shit. I mean, Billy's got an imaginary friend. So does Lisa. So like, I guess I gotta have one if I want to be their real friend.
Word.
Was it your
Yeah,
imaginary
just
friend Alf?
go in.
That's an ironic twist. I'm in the same boat as you, Johnny. I didn't have any. Not that I remember. Wait. But now I do. Do you hear that, guys? It's my friend.
Flying in.
Yeah. No. I don't want it. Okay. I'm busy.
Did you guys have real
busy right
friends?
When I was a child?
I was just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was just what questionnaire was just throwing a little shade there. I think that was just a little barb.
Well, it stung, questionator.
It stung or it stunk?
It stunk and it stung.
Okay.
Can you do both?
Sure. I can find yourself a robot that can do both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did have imaginary friends, and they were Hanno and Boney. It was actually piano and baloney, but I did not know how to say those words well, so I said Hanno and Boney.
Was it an actually piece of bologna and a piano?
No, they were imaginary.
Oh, well, I know, but I mean, like, did you imagine them as a piece of bologna?
You know, I kind of think it was. I think there was an element of what you're talking about in I think like my imaginary friends were a bit performative. I don't remember literally imagining what they looked like.
I see.
There was just like there were characters inside of my brain. Yeah. Oh, also I have multiple personality disorder.
Oh, yeah.
So that might be why.
That explains their one-man show.
That Hanno and Boney.
Hanno and Boney. Hanno, Boney.
Strike again.
Yeah.
Nate, Hanno, and Boney, a three-man show.
Yeah, which one are we talking to
Although,
right now?
honestly, I don't think, I kind of think that Piano wasn't a boy. I think Piano was a girl.
Do you think that you've kind of replaced Hanno and Boney with me and Johnny?
Yeah, you're the girl.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, you're piano.
Musical.
You do play the piano, yeah.
That's right.
And Johnny's full of shit and eats a lot of bologna.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. You guys are
you kind of sought out these relationships.
And as I say this, like slowly your Zoom screens fade away. and they're all me. This is how like my psyche gets smashed. It's like, and whenever I'm telling Viv that I'm coming up to talk to Finn and Johnny, she's like, okay. Have fun. Say hi.
To an empty Zoom screen.
No, I know you're real because my son Adrian has been talking about Johnny lately because we brought this chair up from the basement that we also brought up when Johnny came over for lunch one day, and when Adrian saw it, this was like a month ago. When Adrian saw it, he was like, Johnny's chair. Johnny's chair. So that is Johnny's chair now.
Oh, wow.
And then I did not have many real friends when I was at that age. I don't think. I had Shayna. Shayna Abbott is the only one I remember. Oh, and Ben. Same house. Ben moved away.
Same house?
Well, Ben moved away. Shayna moved in.
Same house as you. Oh, that's the other one I see. Sorry.
Ben was the coolest thing about Ben was that he had a big bunch of hay bales made into a maze right beside his house.
What?
That's pretty cool, actually.
It was really cool. Smelled weird, but it was cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
And Ben was kind of weird. Okay, let's
Walk through
Asked
the
and
maze again,
answered.
Ben. If you want your dinner.
Go find your. He was just eating the hay. Oh, Ben was a horse.
No.
Ah.
Of course.
Next question. Nay, Johnny.
Hey.
If it meant everyone in the world would have access to affordable high-speed rail, would you be willing to only travel by train or foot for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I would. I don't actually wait. Well, there's some things that it's hard to imagine a train going everywhere I'd want to go. And I can't use a bike. I can't get on
Well,
a
you
bike.
wouldn't be able to leave the continent, I guess.
Well, I mean, go underwater.
Because there's no boats.
You think there's underwater trains that will take you to Europe?
Well, not now, but like in the Bay Area, there's a big tunnel that takes a train from one side to the other side of the bay. So imagine a really long one of those.
Hold on a second.
Guys, everyone?
At home, listeners? Can you
It'd be
imagine
sick
that?
if you could see everything. I know if
Really
you go, it's really long.
Oh, it's like a
It's-
glass tube.
Heck yeah.
Hmm.
But it's an old-fashioned train. How steampunk is that?
It would be very steamy.
Imagine a train next to like a big jellyfish.
Hold on a second.
I'm sorry,
Listeners?
I'm asking you a lot.
You're really taxing my imagination.
Yeah.
Buffering and... Oh, it says I don't have enough room on my scratch disk to render
yeah.
this.
Jellyfish
I'll,
are- yeah,
I'll delete some files, probably this one, and then I'll imagine it later. But I bet it's crazy. I mean, it sounds awesome. What if I was kind of, because it's like if you put like a clear thing way at the bottom of the ocean, like it would implode, obviously, right? There would be big pressure problems of doing that.
Yeah,
And then I was like, well, you could build it up towards the surface, that would probably be easier in a way, but except that you'd have to build these long, huge things to hold it up. But I wonder if there's another way. Could it just float? Could it just be wiggly? You know what I mean?
maybe it could afford
tough.
maybe it could be a little wiggly. I mean, in
What about-
order because and then support beams you maybe would need less because it's the ocean, because it's water, not because it's the ocean. And but maybe there's probably a bunch of other complications. Like imagine having a bunch of beams underwater.
Or a bunch of bees underwater.
Oh yeah, imagine putting all the bees underwater, which we didn't.
If you filled that tube with bees, it might be enough action to keep it afloat. But then there would be bees everywhere.
That's other hosts of problems coming from that.
Hives of problems.
Yeah.
What if you just did it? You could do it with floaties. I wonder if you could do it with a lot of floaties.
Like tubes, like noodles.
Well, yeah, or water wings.
What if it was made out of tubes, noodles, and water wings?
What if it was made out of the stuff
train.
the black box is made out of?
That wouldn't work.
No, that would be too heavy.
Dude, that'd be too heavy. But a noodle. What are the black boxes? You see where I'm going with this? Foam floating train. Anyway, I think that what? Let me. I do.
I'm just noodling around here. I'm just.
Hey, yeah. Take it easy.
Hey, hold the foam here.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Good night.
Are you doing the sign off too?
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna love it. I think I don't like cars. Like, I mean, I don't know. It seems like if there's public transportation, it would make everything easier. I think a dream situation is if Uber or whatever did get their shit together and like there were self-driving cars and no one had to own one. Like that would be, imagine there'd be so much less traffic. It would probably ultimately cost less than having a car. There wouldn't be as many accidents, and you can
You just
go
get in and out.
Yeah. Like I think that's an ideal situation. But a light rail system that goes literally everywhere would be awesome too.
Well, it'd have to be light if you wanted it to float. would I'd probably do this because I think what I would do is make sure I would hire a PR person, like right away, and like really get a lot of credit for this somehow, and so that like I can not have to work anymore, and like I go on talk shows, and I would be like a big supporter. You know, I'd be like, my job would be to lobby for high-speed rail. I guess I wouldn't have to anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I would lobby for something else, like to stop the high-speed rail.
Against it? Your turn.
I don't know, just for, you know, like what's that expression? Like they ate their shoe for there was nothing left to walk on. Or what's that expression?
That's
you know what I'm
it.
talking about? Oh, that's it. Okay.
No.
So there's that. I like walking on my feet. If we all had access to high speed rail, I guess that would make it a lot easier. Anyway, was that your point in the first place, that you think if everyone had access to high speed rail, we'd probably figure out a way to get it over the oceans? I honestly, last time I was out of the continent, guys, was like 98. I think I'm good.
No,
you
went to Hawaii. You went to Hawaii.
Shut the fuck up, Finn. That was a secret trip, and you know it.
And we could definitely get a light speed monorail over to Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, all you got to do is that's like a jump situation. I think you just build a huge jump.
Huge ramp.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, you can't go straight through because it's in Hawaii's in that box. If you look at the map,
where would the ramp?
If you look at the map
Alaska?
of the U.S., if you look at the no, because you can't get to Alaska either. It's in a different box. You got to go from the mainland, jump it down and to the left a little bit, off of like San Diego maybe.
And it's really big.
Yeah, San Diego ramp.
It is a lot bigger than it should be. That's for sure.
Yeah,
which makes it easy to land, which is nice.
Also, now, if you think of Hawaii, I was just talking to Hawaii. Whatever. I was not talking to Hawaii. I was talking about Hawaii. Just to make that clear.
We were getting a lot. We were going to get a lot of letters on that.
Yeah, we were.
Like H it's like, and I.
It's like hundreds of miles between those islands. They're not like all close to each other. You know.
No.
So they would need a train system too.
Oh no! It's like a Skippy thing. Yeah. Maybe that won't work. I'm working on the details. What if we hold on? Stick with me here. So there's like a lot of islands, right? Wouldn't it be easier if there was just one? I'm talking pull them all together into one big island. While we're at it, let's move it just a little closer to the continent so the train doesn't have to jump so far.
So yeah,
the real problem is going to be getting back, because Hawaii is not going to. It's smaller, so it's not going to have like as much to get a good run at it. It's going to be tough.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Okay. So it would probably actually resemble that map that you were talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go for that. That seems like a good way to do it.
Okay. Finn, Johnny, would you do it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I spent 10 years living downtown, and I just walked everywhere anyway, so I liked it. It was good. As long as anything's like within, reaching distance.
I love that
actually,
stuff.
in this scenario, you'd have to live at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, that's fine.
There's a train that goes by, though.
I mean, in a big jellyfish. This seems pretty cool. So.
Yeah, you just gotta look for the noodles. That's what Mr. Rogers always said. In an emergency, just look for the noodles. Calling all noodles. Next question, please.
Do you consider a Roomba a robot?
Yes, I do consider a Roomba a robot. Because I feel like it makes its own decisions sometimes. It like has some information, but then it acts with some autonomy. Some autonomy. I mean, it is just responding to data, but aren't we all? You know what I mean?
Hey,
free will is an illusion. So we're all robots, is my point. Everything's a robot if you hold it right. A Roomba is a robot. There's a new one actually. There's the new Roomba, like the new brand of Roomba that's popular and cheaper, and I think maybe it's sold at Costco or something. It's called like an iRobot or something like that.
Yeah, isn't it scary? Yeah, funny that that's the branding.
That they just decided to lean back into it. And also that particular tale.
Did they actually see that movie?
Yeah. Or read. I haven't. That's why I have 30 Roombas that are responsible for every aspect of my life.
That's right.
They give me my food, water. They tell me when to poop.
Oh,
I'm in charge of the pee.
It's for own Krause.
Let's clip that out and use that for the promo for this episode. What about you guys? Do you consider a Roomba a robot?
Listen.
I'm gonna ask Johnny first because I think I know Finn's gonna really go off on a rant.
I'm gonna go real strong.
If the Questionator 3000 is robot, is that what it is? 3,000, 5,000, 5,000.
3,000.
And
different model.
The Roomba is definitely a robot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the Questionator. Yeah,
I will say we found in the intro. I don't know if Finn said this, but we did find a machine in the woods.
I guess
but a robot is a machine.
It was a robot.
I did too, because we have established that is the case because we made extra robot rules for him for our last live show. Okay, so I guess so. You're saying if Questionator is a robot, then Roomba's a robot. What if Questionator is not a robot? What if we made him up for a podcast?
Then I'm so saying it's a robot.
Okay. And I would look at everything I know.
How about you, Finbox?
All right, so I think you touched on something when you said the free will thing. Because, like, okay, what defines a robot? It's like an autonomous machine. It doesn't matter how autonomous it is. As long as it's a little bit, it's a robot. Mm-hmm. My previous rant.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but what about Free Willy?
Free Willy was the only thing with true being with free will.
Okay.
He saw.
That's why they called him that.
Yeah. That's really funny. I never really thought that his name was Free Willy. And he was kind of like, he did see his boundaries. Like, he knew that he was an animal.
Like, hey, I guess. No way, man. I'm free. I'm free. They call me Free Willy. Will you let me out of here?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's right in my name.
And we're like, it's not Freed Willy.
Yeah. It's about how much. It's about how much you're worth.
Yeah, he kept saying that in the movie.
So okay, sorry.
Imagine mugshot with an orca says Free Willy. That's my T-shirt idea.
That's pretty good. We should start like just having doing protests, like staging protests for Free Willy.
How would you get him in the mugshot? You'd have to be his profile, if you're really gonna do a mugshot of a orca.
Why? Well, usually they do both.
Oh, yes.
Get yourself an orca that does both.
That does, okay.
How many times can I refer to this meme from, say, 4 years ago? 2 so far.
Let's see. Okay, so I think.
Oh, sorry, it's rant time. Here we go. Buckle up.
Oh, rant time. So my original rant, and I still believe this, is that like we have this thing. We don't call things robots. We just like I don't know if we call a Roomba a robot. Seems like we refer to him as a Roomba more than a robot.
But I mean, okay, but that would be because if you just said there's like, oh, my robot's broken. No one. If you call a bunch of things robots, then that's not very specific.
But if I did, let's say I did do that, wouldn't you imagine like a humanoid Rosie from the Jetsons, like,
No, and this is why I set you up for this rant, so I can finally argue against you.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. I don't imagine that. Like, I am from now. Mm-hmm. I like maybe if I was from 1960, then I teleported I time traveled to the future, and I was like, then maybe I would be like, well, a robot? I imagine a robot, but now I don't really. I imagine a robot as I've been in enough like factories that I know that robots also are like bzz, 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 these other weird things that shoot lasers.
Robot wars.
Doubting your factory experiences.
It's kind of. I felt like you were. I felt like you were like, "Hey, your factory experiences are bullshit," is what you said. Essentially, I mean, we'll play it back. Essentially that was the vibe.
Let's reverse it.
Anyway, so I would not, but I understand what you're saying, but I disagree. This sounds like a talking point from 1992 when Roombas first came out or whatever.
I think
this
it's
sounds
like
an article from then. Like, what are the other robots that we don't acknowledge as robots?
Well, we don't call things robots. I guess it's not like a word we use unless it's ironic, you know? Like we call them by what they do specifically. Like and I just imagine that we have this like, okay, so let's say all these things are robots. Like we call cars. Like look at that car. We don't go look at that Honda or look at that load-bearing truck or look at that
Well, I do.
steamroller.
But if you see an iRobot vacuum cleaner, you say Roomba.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I mean. I'm saying a car is serving the same purpose as a truck, or a Toyota and Honda are serving the same purpose, and a Roomba and an iRobot are serving the same purpose.
I guess, yeah, or like, exactly. But we don't or like if you look at the iRobot from the book iRobot, those are humanoid robots walking around. Like we had this, or the Lost in Space robot or whatever. That's like a thing with arms and a head and it talks.
I guess maybe for me the Star Wars edition of droids made this split for me. Like now I don't have to now I don't imagine robots as people. I imagine droids as people, if you were gonna, as humanoids are no longer, I don't consider robots to be humanoids at all. Like I do in a joke way in my brain, like as far as if I'm making a joke about it, I'll simplify things to pretending like I think a robot is a square piece of, boxy metal with wiggly arms or whatever and lasers. But that's not really what I think. I really think that robots are machines.
Droid is just interchangeable with robots. They just don't say robots in Star Wars.
No, it's not, though, anymore. And maybe it was when it was made a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But now, because of that movie, I imagine droids.
Oh, you call those droids? I see.
What about Terminator?
What do they call that?
Well, definitely as the series has gone on, like the robots that have taken over the world are many different things other than humanoid.
Are they?
They have like personalities and like, yeah, they don't have human bodies all the time, but they like.
Well, then,
like.
But they have personality. Now R2D2 has, they have human personalities, but that's what makes that a robot to me. Partially.
I guess so, yeah.
Because that one is not humanoid. You're right, but I definitely consider R2D2 a droid and a robot. Yeah,
so maybe like the checkboxes. Yeah, I think maybe the personality is like the robot thing that we think
if that's
of. Or is the colloquially what we call a robot. And then as time has gone on and we don't have those yet, we probably will in the very, very near future. We don't call maybe we'll call those robots or something.
So you think it's more about the AI that's inside of the machine?
I guess so. Now that I'm thinking about it, now that you're making me
if that's the case, then if you're using a program like Bing or ChatGPT, would that then become your computer be a robot?
It doesn't. Oh yeah, I guess it's not its own. Maybe it has to be in hardware too. No, because I don't think that's true. Maybe I don't know.
What about? Does it have to move around?
Well, remember, doesn't George Jetson have like a boss, like work with a machine? I guess that's not. Remember his
boss is a guy famously,
but he works with a. Doesn't he work with
on some sort of robot or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's just like a screen with like a squiggly line for a mouth.
Oh, kind of like HAL or something.
Yeah, I feel like if your Roomba had like a program like Siri or Alexa and it responded to your commands, robot? Or just vacuum cleaner?
Oh my gosh. Well, this is a good distinction.
Like I do feel like there needs to be some autonomy, and if it's just responding to my commands, I don't feel like there's no free will going on there. But if it's if I've authorized it to make decisions, like Hal, is Hal a robot?
He's like an artificial intelligence, but
artificial.
Because
I'm going to tell him you said that. Hal's my uncle. I'm talking about.
All right.
Okay, I don't think we're ever going to get to the bottom of this. And look, I don't think I want to. I'm going to ask my my Roomba and see
what your Roomba thinks.
See what my Roomba thinks. All right, Finn, take us out.
We've been listening to several questions. Remember, if you're gonna ask your robot the robot, you should check it. You should like us on social media. I've been Finn.
I've been Nate.
I'm Johnny.
And this is several questions.
That's contagious.
Thank you for listening to Several Questions, a production of Wolf Out Radio. Click on the link in the show notes for more Wolf Out shows.